and I'm gonna tell you what happened. The 4th of July over here in Union City, you can actually see the firework display through your window, can't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought you could because it's just right over on the other side of the field, right?
Yeah.
You got a bird's eye view right here of the 4th of July firework display.
Yeah.
Well, while I was over there driving around, Maxie, I drove over there. What's the name of that street where it comes to a V? Over there where that hotel burnt. That hotel that killed all them children and your wife.
Oh, that street there, that was that hotel there. That was on Miles and Main Avenue. Miles and Main.
Miles and Main.
Yeah.
Miles and Main.
I'll tell you where it is too. Miles, if you want to get on here, come out of here. Just go out of here, you know. And make a left turn there. You go out of here. You turn right. You go to that red light. Okay.
And then turn left right there. Used to be the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Used to be right there on the corner right there, didn't it? Yeah.
No, not there. There's a barbecue place up there.
I thought Kentucky Fried Colonel Chicken come into town back in the '60s and opened up right there.
Not right there. It is right on the corner.
Right on the corner.
Right on the corner of another street. But you come up here to Miles Avenue, like you're coming in from Martin.
The old Fulton Road.
Well, you come in from Martin.
Because you can, not Martin.
Yeah, come in from Martin or something. Like coming into Union City from there, you know.
Well, Martin and Union City is two different towns.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta come to Martin, get into Union City, okay? When you get into Union City.
I know where it is, Maxie.
Okay.
I know where it is, okay?
You know
I just
where
wanted to
Miles-
know the name of the street.
You know where Miles Avenue is?
Yes, I do. I know where the hotel is.
Okay.
I'm fixing to go somewhere with this conversation if you'll let me have the floor for a minute.
Yeah.
Whenever I drove by there, the outline of the building pertaining to it being, I guess, like different levels is still there. Of course, ain't none of the blocks there, but the foundation is still there. And I got to noticing there's a for sale sign on that property of them trying to sell that piece of property. I guess the city owns it now, I guess.
I don't know who owns it. See, there was that place there. It's probably it's all tore down now, huh?
Yeah, it's all tore down.
Well, I ain't been through there in years, okay? It used to be there, that place right there. And another property that went with it. And it was,
Right there on the corner.
no, it was, that one.
Because there's
Let me see what.
there's a grocery store across from it.
No, that used to be A.W. James right there.
Right, used to be E.W. James right
Yeah,
there.
but right there, the motel sit here, and up around the corner, there was a Dairy Queen right here at one time.
Right.
Or right back of that, on that street there was some more property that motel, that man that owned that motel owned.
Well, what happened to that guy? What happened to those people after that hotel burned?
I don't know.
Did they evacuate the whole hotel, or did it only burn part of the hotel? Did it burn all the hotel?
No, it just burnt a one room there where we got it, and then it was opened back up a while after we, within 2 months. And
They was conducting normal business,
yeah,
even though you'd lost a wife and a total of four children.
yeah. I mean, the place was clean and everything. You know, they done everything they could for it, you know, checking it out and everything, so.
That was in 1983. You remember the month that happened?
October the 8th.
October the 8th. And that was in 1983.
Yeah.
And your wife, what was her name?
Karen?
Karen?
Yeah.
With a K or a C?
Okay.
All right. And what was her two sons' name by her first husband?
She only had one by her first husband.
Oh, she only had one by her first husband?
Yeah.
Okay, what was his name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. And then she had, what, another marriage and had that other boy?
Yeah, that was with me.
That was with you?
Yeah,
What was his name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
And then you had your two boys there from
Yeah.
what was her name? Your first wife, Louise.
Yeah.
You had your two boys there from Louise,
Yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
And Jeff is the one that died, correct?
He's going to live.
Jeff is the one that lived. Jeff lived. And which one died?
Chris.
Chris.
He buried the Alamo.
Chris is buried at Alamo, that's correct. Where's Karen buried at and those other children?
Martin.
Martin, where in Martin?
Big cemetery up there. You know where the cemetery is in Martin?
There's all kinds of cemeteries in Martin.
I only know of two.
What is it again?
I only know of two of them.
There's several cemeteries in Martin.
There's one big one, you know.
Going outside of Martin, going towards Dresden,
Yep.
on the right hand side.
Oh, you leave Martin, you go into Dresden, on the left hand side.
After you pass MTD,
No, you ain't go out that far.
you don't go out that far.
Or, you know, okay, you know where Co-op is there in
Yes,
Martin?
yeah,
You take that street there in Martin that goes out to it.
okay,
Just before you get to the Co-op, there's a street on the left.
okay.
You turn left there.
That's right, it's down there where the swimming pool used to be.
No, that ain't the swimming pool right there. You turn left on this street there, okay? You turn right, you go to the swimming pool. Turn left there, okay?
Okay.
Turn
Go down
right.
there by the telephone thing.
I don't know what it is, but I know you turn left there on this street. Then to the end, you make a right. You go right into the cemetery.
But this is my question. You know how people will have a loved one to die on the road and they'll go and put up a cross,
You know?
or they'll put some sort of a monument reminding people
Yeah.
that a bad event happened
Yeah.
right there? Do you mind if I try to get with like the city mayor and see if we couldn't put some sort of monument there pertaining to the remembrance
No.
of the deceased that happened right there at that spot?
No, I don't want anything done with it.
Is there a reason why?
I don't. It bothers me enough that you about something being put up there like that, okay? I don't want nothing put up like that.
You don't want nothing put up like that. Do you think it would bring back too many old memories?
I've sure got memories of it. I just want to forget about that, okay?
I got you. Well, I'm not trying to bring it up to antagonize you or to hurt you, but to be quite honest with you, whenever I went by there and I seen that sign for sale, and I seen the different levels where the hotel used to be, and there wasn't no monument there, there wasn't no sign indicating where basically, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 people had died. You would think that there would be some sort of a cross or something right there.
No.
Because like I said, whenever somebody dies, a loved one dies, like on a car wreck or something, they'll, in respect for that loved one, they'll put a cross or something on the side of the road indicating that something happened there. And it's not that you're trying to disrespect them people, it's actually you're reverencing in being respectful towards their death.
A year before that, I'll tell you something. And they never put a marker there for this. A year before that happened, in '82, around Christmas time, an ambulance left Martin going up to Dresden.
Uh-huh.
Going to carry a woman to take a woman at the rest home.
Okay.
So another fella, he said, I'd just rather be up there. All 3 of them got killed, snap of the finger.
I heard about that. Sure did. One of them lost his head, didn't he?
I don't know what happened. It had been raining that night.
Yeah.
Maybe driving speeding at 50, 55, that thing hydroplaned
Uh-huh.
and went this way, and that semi hit him broadside.
Yeah.
If somebody never had a chance to hit the brakes, so you can imagine what it done to the vehicle and everything.
In other words, they hit a widowmaker.
It killed all three of them right there.
It did.
Yeah, they're buried out there at Martin.
Did they put any type of monument or any type of marker there?
No. It's right there, right where the water
Does the human life no longer matter to people anymore? People dying in an accident or unforeseen accident. Does the human life no longer matter to anybody no longer? Towards referencing their death? Because Maxie, if we can't show homage to the people that have died before us, do you think that other people are going to show homage to us?
I don't know. I'm not worried about it myself.
You're not. You're not worried about what kind of legacy you leave behind? How you're remembered, or even if you're remembered? You don't.
All you got is supposed to be doing that. That's all.
Oh, I know that. I know that. And the next question I had to ask you is this. How come that community down there where we left such of a mark, down there in the Cydonia Hop-In community, how come they took such of a hatred to us?
I don't know. I never had no problem with nobody down there myself.
Well, you partially was raised up there, but you was partially raised up in Chicago too. But then whenever you married Louise, you lived in Hop-In, in between Hop-In and Cydonia, across from Harry and Woodruff for probably 3 or 4 years, and then beyond that, you kind of went to the army and you kind of moved around and done different things, huh?
I went in the army before I was married or anything. I went in the army in '65.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. Man, Louise didn't live there by Harry and Woodruff maybe a year or so.
Okay. Around that corner,
Right there.
in that little house.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then, you kind of jumped around in different places. You never did really live back in Hop-In no more, did you?
Not living,
I didn't think you did.
but I know it all.
Of course, there's a whole different group of people that's living there now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about whenever your dad was living there right by the old store. You remember he was out there on a lawnmower and the lawnmower tipped over and almost killed him?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I think he'd been drinking, hadn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just seems like a lot of people took a disliking to us.
I don't know. Dad never had no trouble with anybody, and I never had no trouble with him. I mean, of course, a lot of them people down there I started school with.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like Max Morgan and,
Max Morgan, they started school together,
yeah.
and Larry Harrison, they started school. Me, Max Morgan, Larry Harrison, Butch Shelley, and let's see, there was Roberta Elliott,
Yeah,
Ann Alton.
yeah.
I can't remember them all.
Well, didn't Jerry Madison go to school down there for a while?
No, he never went to school down there. He went to school up in Illinois.
Oh, he did?
Brown Lake.
But he was born down here
I don't know if he was or not. Now that I don't know.
by Ruth Helen. You remember Ruth Helen?
Yeah, I know who he called him. And Bill Lawrence in Texas right now.
Do what now?
Jerry's in Texas right now.
Oh, he's been down there for 40 years.
He went down there after he got out of the Air Force.
Right. How old was Karen?
When she died,
Yeah,
she was about 28.
28. How old was Jimmy?
Jimmy was 5.
5. And Jonathan?
He was about a year and a half.
So he was just sure enough a tot, huh? Wow. Chris, how old was he? About 8?
About that.
And of course, Jeff was the oldest,
Yeah.
but he's still living in Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought he was. Well, I didn't know. Because it seemed strange to me that a whole family could die like that in 1983, and there wasn't nothing to remember them by.
Well, see, they didn't die at one time. You know?
They didn't. But they all died because of the fire.
Yeah, but they didn't all die at one time. Let's see. Jimmy died first. Then Jimmy, then Christopher, then Jonathan.
And then Karen died last.
Yeah. She died the 15th of November, 1983.
So she hung on for, what, about a month?
Yeah, a little over that.
Because October the 8th is whenever the initial fire happened.
Yep.
And you're saying that she died November when?
13th.
The 13th.
They got a sort of on the market though, the 14th, that's where they wanted it anyway. The 14th.
May have been a missed call between, whether or not it was before 12 o'clock midnight or after.
Yeah.
But I know that really rattled you, and it rattled Margaret, and it rattled Leon too. I mean, that rattled the whole family, didn't it?
Yeah.
You had to have counseling over that, didn't you?
No.
You didn't have counseling? Well, I know it affected Jeff deeply.
I know it's affected everybody.
Sure did. And something like that would affect anybody, wouldn't it? Or you'd think that it would. So Norma Jean, she's a little younger than you?
Norma?
Yeah.
Norma Faye, her middle name.
Norma Faye.
Yeah, she's 2 years younger than me. I was born in 45, she was born in 47. On the first day of June.
Does she still contact you from time to time?
Yeah.
Does she?
Uh-huh.
So y'all keep a close-knit relationship over the phone?
Yeah, when I call her, but we talk about things times and she sends me stuff
Yeah.
that I need.
Is Glenn still down there in Memphis? Is he still living?
As far as I know, he still is.
Well, he was a Ramsey, right?
Yeah.
But Bill Ramsey married who?
Well,
What was her name?
Moselle.
Moselle.
That's the Robertson.
Moselle.
I see her maiden name, Moselle's maiden name was Chapel.
Chapel. Chapel.
That was her maiden name.
I didn't know that. Because you said something at one time that we was kin to Marvin Alexander, the auctioneer.
It's on my mother's side, not on daddy's side now.
Oh, it is on your mother's side.
Yeah. My mother's maiden name was Alexander. So, you know what?
Margaret was Alexander?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's from the Midway community.
Okay. You don't remember how they're kin? You don't remember how Marvin and your mother was kin? Was they just cousins or something?
Something like that.
First cousins, maybe?
I don't know how. Well, I know there's a bunch of Alexanders around there.
What was her dad's name? You remember?
Ted.
Ted Alexander?
Yeah.
What did he do? Do you remember?
He was a farmer at one time, and arthritis got him down.
Yeah. Ted Alexander. Seems like I remember that name.
They're buried out at Stanley Chapel.
They are.
You know where that's at?
Yeah.
You know how to get in the cemetery there?
Yeah.
There's two ways in. If you want to go through it properly, you gotta go into the church and go through it.
Right, going behind the church.
Don't, when you get up to it, there's a road right there by the cemetery.
Yeah, but it almost tip you over right there.
Well, you don't wanna go that
It
road.
ain't a good road.
You know why?
Why?
That's the road coming out of the cemetery, cause if you go in that way, you'll be looking at all the markers going up through there.
That's right.
Go up there by the church, take that road and go down,
That's right.
and, it's right there, just hang through all the markers,
Right, right.
and, that's what. So, trying to find. I got a cousin. So, find that group now. Oh, yeah. I had an uncle one time, Elmo Alexander.
Elmo Alexander.
That's mother's brother. She had another brother named Owen. And she had another one, I can't think, Virgil was his name.
Virgil.
And he died of sugar diabetes.
I got you.
And his mother, oh, I knew her real well. She passed away, and he had a daughter named Brooksy.
Brooksy.
Yeah.
She still living?
Yeah, as far as I know. But her mother passed away, and I went to her mother's funeral. Brooksy's mother's funeral.
Yeah.
And she's buried out of Gardner.
Gardner.
I got another aunt, no, I got aunt nothing but buried.
Now Marvin, he lost a son, didn't he?
I don't remember now.
You don't remember Marvin? I think he committed suicide or something.
I don't remember.
You may not have been around whenever that happened.
I know there was Marvin and auctioneer. And there was another one that lived back in Midway there. They had a big horse farm. And I think they but several Alexanders around there.
Yeah. Or several Alexanders around. Do I have your sister's telephone number?
I don't know. I think you do.
Does she have more than one telephone number?
I don't know. I don't know.
You only have one telephone number, I'm supposing. Then. Wow. You remember after Kelmer died in 1969? You was over there at Miss Aldell's and got a telephone call that somebody else had died that Moselle was watching at the time. What was her name? That was Big Daddy's sister, wasn't it?
Let's see here. Oh, Moselle died right after what time Doug was buried. Yeah, 'cause I come home at night from the Doug's funeral. I was sitting there, we just got back to the house. I don't know where we'd been. The phone rang and it was Dad told me Moselle died.
But the woman that she was watching,
Oh, that was her mother.
that was her mother,
Yeah, Bertha.
Berthy. The one that used to be in Alexander?
No, that's Moselle. That's on Daddy's side there now. On her mother's side.
Oh, okay. That would be Bill's mother?
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law. But originally she was Big Daddy's sister, right?
Huh? Who?
Kilmer's sister.
Yeah, she was.
What was her name?
That was Bertha.
Berthy.
There was four of them sisters. Let's see, there was Barbara, then there was Bertha, there was Paulina, then there was Lizzie.
Yeah.
Four of them girls,
Yeah.
and two boys. Daddy was the youngest of them, and the other was Jean K. Jackson. And one of them girls I never knew. That was Barbara. I never knew her. Barbara died in 42. February 19.
How old was she when she died?
I don't know.
Just a young girl?
I don't know. Let's see, she had a son that was in the Air Force then.
Well, okay. She was already then, had to have been in her 40s then.
I don't know. She was her maiden name. Barbara's maiden name was Jackson. And she married Claude Wellington.
Who?
Claude Wellington.
Okay.
And he was a teacher or something around here. I don't know how they met, but anyway, they moved to Memphis. That's where they were living when Barbara died.
I got you.
And Uncle Claude, I used to see him. We used to go to Memphis to see him all the time. He was on a school down there. Had a school down there in Memphis. He was
Uncle Tom, did you ever hear about Uncle Tom? Was he the one that could holler out and people could hear him for a mile away?
I wouldn't know my relatives.
May have been somebody on the Davis side.
Must have been.
Did you know any of the Davises down in there?
Not really.
Now, them people that lived in behind us, what was their names? Had a bunch of cows and stuff. He was my uncle, Uncle Ed.
Oh, Ed Ennis?
Ed Enos.
Yeah, Ed and Gladys.
Ed and Gladys. Gladys was Grandma's sister, correct?
Uh-huh.
I thought so. So she had to have been a Davis too at one time.
Yeah, and they had one brother.
They had a brother?
Yeah,
What was his name?
Tom.
That was the one I'm talking about.
Thomas Davis.
Tom. Did you know any of them?
Well, I knew Tom.
You knew Tom?
Hey, Maxie. Excuse me for a minute,
Yes,
please.
ma'am. What are you doing? You coming in? You the nurse is here?
Yeah, I'm the one that's here for till 7 in the
Okay.
morning. Hey, now, Maxie.
Are you keeping him straight?
He keeps me straight, don't ya? I work the next 4 nights in a row. 12
Everything
hours.
going okay with him?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's looking good. His color looks good and everything, don't it?
He does.
Here we
Strong
go.
man.
He really looks good.
Thank you, Maxie.
Yeah.
Nice seeing ya.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Davis. That was Jimmy Dale's baby.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. And Rick's baby.
And Rex's daddy?
Yeah, his name was Tom Davis.
Okay.
And I just do. I couldn't have been over 4 or 5 years old when I remember Hank Darrell's daddy.
You do?
Huh? He was an old man, and I was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 years old.
What the heck was his name?
I can't remember.
Was it Pappy Davis?
I don't know. I just remember seeing one when I was about 6 years old.
You said you was born in when?
45.
45. Seems like I've got some old pictures though. Original Alamo Baptist Church where somebody got buried long about the time that you was born.
That wouldn't been then.
May have been Miss Aldale's mother. What was her name?
I don't know.
You never did meet her neither? Pauline, was you familiar with Pauline? That was Miss Aldale's sister. She lived up north for years and years and years.
No, I don't know about my sister or not.
Yeah, that was her sister.
Where she lives. I don't know. I didn't know Tom Davis had both Tom and Aldale and Gladys. Now, Pauline might be Ed and Gladys' daughter. And Gladys.
No. I'm pretty sure that Gladys and Pauline and Mama Dale was all sisters. They was all kin.
Okay, that's when I didn't know them because I don't remember her.
She was white-headed there towards the last, very white-headed. I mean, snow white head. Yep. The Wallaces, did you ever know them down there on that road? The Wallaces.
Oh, Jimmy Wallace and
Yeah.
Raven.
You remember Rosie Davis, right?
Yeah.
Who was she married to? He was a Davis. He must have been Grandma's uncle or first cousin or something.
Early Davis.
Early Davis, that was right. They live right there, pretty close where Mac's living right now, Mac's Morgan. Uh-huh. Early and Early did. Yeah, they did.
Turn there, like going to, well, you know where Jimmy Davis and them used to live at?
Yeah,
Right there, that house?
yeah.
Right above it. Where he and Mr. and Miss Rosie lived.
Okay.
It was right
there. Laureen Davis, that was the mother to Sonny Davis, the guy that didn't have no hands. You remember her? Lived right there on the corner.
I never did know them.
You never did know them?
I knew Sonny Davis.
You knew Sonny,
Yeah.
the guy without the hands?
Yeah.
Did you know any of his family? Not to amount to anything? They lived over right beside Mabel and Hillary. Remember Hillary and Mabel?
Yeah.
Penny?
Yeah.
Who was Hillary? Who was Miss Penny before she got married?
Right, mate.
Good night.
But I don't know. I didn't, Daddy could tell you all about.
And then there used to be some Ridgeways down there too, didn't it?
Yeah, one more.
Was it Monroe Ridgeway?
There was, I think. I know we're related to them. I do know that much.
We're related to the Ridgeways?
Yes, somehow. I don't ask me how or anything. I don't know. Dad, you get at somebody. Dad never did tell me how, but I know he was.
How about Cecil? Cecil Jackson.
He was Dad's cousin, about third or fourth cousin.
Who was his dad?
Oh, Lord, I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Well, it had to come off from the stem of George Washington Jackson. It wound up having Jeff Jackson, James Jeff Jackson. It wound up running that store for years and years and years. That Cecil had to come from that same branch.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, do it. I mean,
And of course, there was another branch that branched out that come over here to Union City, and one of those guys is working for the TVI. His name is Jeff Jackson too. What I'm getting at, Maxie, we got some deep roots. You told me before, was it George Washington Jackson that got shot in the Civil War? He used to be a cook.
Well, there's a person in the Southern Army, Company H.
Company H.
The H Company.
Is there any way of looking those records up to verify that?
I don't know.
Would you have to go to the VFW club, VFW people?
No, you wouldn't go through them.
You wouldn't go through them?
He was in the Southern Army. He was the president. Okay.
Okay.
See what was his name? He was in the 22nd Tennessee Cavalry, Company H, 22nd Tennessee Cavalry.
Say that again.
22nd Tennessee Cavalry,
22nd Tennessee Cavalry,
Company H.
Company H.
Yeah, big in the Civil War records.
Company H. And he got wounded down at Shiloh somewhere?
No, we're not Shiloh. He went in service in 1863, got out when he was discharged in 65. He was wounded in Alabama somewhere. I don't know where.
Alabama.
And went home for 30 days, go around there, come back, and he stopped the war, though. That's about all I know.
You don't remember his name? Was that George Washington?
I was Pappy Jackson's daddy right there.
Yeah, Pappy Jackson's daddy.
Yeah.
And you're calling Pappy Jackson Jeff Jackson, right?
Yeah, Jefferson Jackson was his full name.
I thought it was James Jefferson. James Jefferson Jackson. 3 J's.
I never even paid that. I always called him Jefferson, so it goes back. Everybody called him Pap.
Called him Pap.
Pappy.
Did they look up to him, Maxie?
Who?
Pappy.
Yeah,
Why'd they look up to him for? Was he a businessman?
something like that. Everybody knew him. Everything. And
Do you remember him as a child?
yeah,
You do?
yeah.
And his wife, what was her name? Mimi?
Mammy.
Mammy?
Emma Dora Jackson.
Who?
Emma Dora Jackson.
Emma Dora. Emma. Emma Dora. Jeff Jackson. Emma. Can you spell that? Emma?
I can't.
M-E-L-E-M? Emma? M-A, maybe?
I don't know.
What did you say her whole name was?
Emma Dora, I believe it is.
Dora. Jackson. And do you have any idea who she was before she got married?
No, I don't.
None whatsoever.
She died in fall of 1954. Pap died in 1950 or 51. I ain't for sure which. And Pap was laid out at the house. The old house we had down in the middle of the house is where he was laid out at.
What house?
Uh,
Right there by the store?
you don't know.
That house that used to be there right beside the store, 2-story house?
Yeah, that's where he was laid out at.
Okay.
And ma'am, now she was laid out at, sure, at the funeral home, I think.
She was.
Yeah.
Jesus, was that road even blacktop back then?
Huh?
That Highway 89 going to Sidon and Sharon, was that even blacktop back then?
No, it wasn't.
Just gravel?
Yeah.
Just barely had power down there, didn't you?
Then they even tar that road there. Oh, I was back in the late 50s when they tarred it.
But Jeff Jackson, you saying that a lot of people knowed him?
Oh, yeah.
You talking about a lot of people in this district, not just in Weakley County, but O'Brien County and Reeves and Union City and a lot.
Now that I don't know.
Well, he was a merchant, right?
He he had that store there, you know.
And he also conducted court there, and they also had hangings there too, right?
No, there's not what I know of. I never heard Dad talk about that now. If they had it, Dad would have told me. But they never did. Besides, he never hung anybody. He was just a magistrate. That's all he was.
Magistrate?
Yeah.
What is a magistrate?
I really don't know. I think he heard bankruptcies and things like this. That's about all he would do.
All right, how about the Simmonses? How much do you know about the Simmonses? You remember Dan Simmons
Yeah.
and Sue Simmons that had Danny D? Danny D's still living. He works at John Deere place. Did you know that?
I didn't know it.
Yep. But of course, Dan and Sue's dead now.
Yeah.
But who was their father and mother? Do you remember?
Dan's mother and people I don't know. But I knew Sue's mother and daddy.
Who was she before she got married?
Wait a minute, let me think now. They live right there in Finland. Her maiden name was Golf. G-O-L-L.
G
Golf.
G-O-L-F?
I don't know, maybe I spelled Golf.
Golf.
The parents' name was Romy and Mary Jane Golf.
Think they was from up around Sharon or something?
They're from Finland,
From where?
Kenton.
Kenton. Okay.
And she had a brother named Jimmy Golf.
Okay. Now, the way I understand it, that Cecil was up north working at one time,
I don't know.
and he wound up meeting Alice up there. And once they got married, they come back down to the south. I didn't know if you knew them whenever you was up north, or remember them up there or not.
No. A lot of them people went north. Like Rosie and Irving was up north too.
Oh, they was.
Yeah, but that's back in the 30s when they was up there.
That was after the 1929 Depression.
Yeah, they was up there.
There was a whole lot of people that was losing farms back then, wasn't it?
I don't know, but I know a lot of them went north then. Cause
Money was tight.
Because they could get jobs up there and you couldn't get one down here.
Well, even Kelmer and Miss Aldell went up north and worked for a while.
Yeah.
Because Dad was halfway raised up there. He was raised partially up down in Tennessee and partially up in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby was, my dad.
I know.
Times was hard back then.
Yeah, but hell, back then, there wasn't no jobs down there like you got now. Hell, back in the 50s, everybody went north because you couldn't find no jobs down here. If you found one, you went to Slant, they gave you 75 cents an hour and Brown Shoe Company. But you go up north and get a job for $2 an hour.
Slant, what did they build?
Clothes.
Clothes.
Yeah. Brown Shoe Company, they made shoes and everything.
Okay.
They had companies all over Tennessee. So we started, you know where Selmer is?
Yeah.
There was Selmer and coming up, there's one.
Selmer's down there by Adamsville, down there by Beaufort Pulsar territory.
Yeah, you come up to Selmer, there was one at Selmer.
Boy, Selmer has really grown.
Yeah.
That town has really, really grown.
There was one in Rutherford. There was one in Dyer.
Did you ever hear about Beaufort Pulsar?
Uh-huh.
You never did have opportunity of meeting him, did you? Never did know him personally? You think it was right in what they done to him down there?
I don't know. Don't know.
There was some really rough hombres back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Moonshining, prostituting, gambling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just about all them river rat towns close to the river was kind of mean, wasn't they?
Yeah, but Selmer ain't close to no town, no river. You know it?
Selmer, it's not really what you'd call close to town, but it's down in that area going towards Adamsville. Of course, once you get to Adamsville, it's just about 20 miles. You get to Savannah. Savannah is on the river.
Or like you get down to,
Of course, keep in mind, 20 miles back then was like the distance of 100 miles because they had old heating cars, drove bad highways and stuff.
well, you get down to Shiloh, you know where that's at.
Oh yeah,
That's at Savannah. Savannah's right there.
yeah, yeah. That's at Savannah right there.
Yeah, 'cause that's on the river there.
Uh huh. But you're telling me that our great, I guess it'd be our third or fourth great grandfather, got wounded in the Civil War. He got wounded in Alabama.
Yeah, I think my great grandfather there.
That would be your great grandfather.
Yeah.
So it'd be my great grandfather, right? Or my fourth great grandfather. Yeah. And you're thinking that was Washington? George Washington Jackson?
Yeah.
And I guess his dad.
I used to have a thing on it and I lost it.
Well, we originally come over the hills of Tennessee, didn't we? Over in North Carolina, that's where we come from, wasn't it?
I had it all one time. I can't remember it all, okay? I'd have to get somebody to run it up for me again.
Could you get your sister on the phone?
Not right now.
What?
It's,
9 o'clock? She already in bed?
yeah, it's 10:15 up there.
Huh?
10 o'clock where she's at.
That's right. She's an hour ahead of time than us, ain't they? So they're probably already in bed, ain't they?
Yeah.
Well, she'd be able to know a little bit about the family history, wouldn't she?
No.
Would she not?
Of
Once she got her education, got married, she moved off, and that was the end of that, wasn't it?
When she graduated high school, we were living in Chicago and she went to Memphis and she stayed in Memphis till she got married, till after we got married.
She working in the banking business, wasn't she, or something?
No, she worked in Memphis school system.
Oh, okay. And she met that guy that was in the banking business, right?
Mhm.
And that's where they tied up at,
Yeah,
down there in Memphis.
yeah.
And they got children too, you said.
I got a boy and a girl and I got one granddaughter.
A boy and a girl and one granddaughter.
Yeah. The boy, I don't think he's married. Now Holly, that's their daughter. She's married. And she has a daughter next Norma's granddaughter right there.
What's her name? You remember?
I don't know.
How old is she? Just a young girl? 7, 8, 10-year-old?
No, she's older than that.
Is she?
Is might be 18, 20 years old. I don't know.
So that'd be your niece?
I guess so.
Yeah, that'd be your niece. And you'd be an uncle to her. Uh-huh. You'd be an uncle to her and the boy.
No, that's her brother.
I'm talking about Norma Jean, your sister.
Yeah, it's
Her children to you would be you would be Uncle Max.
Yeah, I would.
You'd be Uncle Max.
I don't really see him.
Did they ever come down and see you?
No,
You ain't never seen them?
no, I never have.
Well, listen, I called up here. It was a day or two ago asking about you.
Yeah.
And under the HIPAA law, are you familiar with the HIPAA law? It's a privacy law thing. They was hesitant about giving out any information about you because they said that you never had put me on that list.
Hell,
Me and you talked about that.
I know I might have forgot it, 'cause I get so much on my mind sometimes. But, hell, let's see.
If I go up there right now and talk to one of them girls, can I get on the list if you verify it?
Yes,
I can.
but, let's see. No, I was in the hospital. No, yeah. Yeah.
Because they wouldn't even contact me and call me if you died or something, or you was just at the point of death. They wouldn't even contact me because I'm not on that list.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. I was in the hospital. I had a catheter in me. Then I went back got the catheter out. I didn't know what was going on there.
When was that?
I was,
Recently?
yeah, it was about a week or two ago when they done that.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
Yeah, they put it in me at the hospital.
What was going on with you?
Well, I had a little trouble about 20 years ago. Everything got blocked up and I couldn't pay you anything.
Okay.
And back then, they got it without going to the hospital. This time I had to go look. I went to,
Surgery?
no, let's see, you wouldn't call it surgery. But, I went from here to O'Brien County, then O'Brien County, I went to Dyersburg. And that's where they put it in at.
Put the catheter in you?
Yeah, it was down there.
You still got the catheter in you now?
No, they had it out a week ago. Everything like that, I don't even bother with it. I don't even think I told Mom about it yet.
So you basically gone from this room, what, 3 or 4 days?
No. Oh, no.
Mandy, call 111, Mandy 111.
See, I went, but, let's see, Sunday, Monday. I was gone about 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Well, you got to see the countryside a little bit, didn't you?
Huh?
You got to see the countryside a little bit, didn't you?
No.
In the back of that hospital, they don't have no windows in that ambulance.
One,
Just the one in the very back. I know those things is rough riding, ain't they, Maxie?
what?
Them ambulances. Them
No.
ambulances rough riding. Or they used to be.
Nah, there's no bad thing.
Really?
I rode him before.
Have you?
Yeah. And,
Well, you've lived a good life. What are you now? 79?
79. Yeah.
You've lived a decent life. Now, Jerry, he's older than you.
So,
Jerry Wayne,
he's 2 years older than me.
2 years older. He's at 81.
Yeah. Him and Ronnie were the same age.
God, Ronnie's been dead for 20 years. Do you know I still talk to Ruth from time to time? The wife that he was married to for all them years whenever he was in ministry business.
Yeah.
I still contact her and talk to her from time to time, Ruthie.
Yeah.
She's got 2 sisters that lives up there in Michigan.
Yeah, that's where she's from.
Michigan. And she's still living up there by herself.
Well, see, they met in school down here where Ronnie was going, or they were both going to school at
Moody Bible College or something?
Moody Bible Institute.
Uh-huh.
That's where they met at.
Yeah.
That's how long I've known
I tell you what, Ruthie's she's a nice person. She has conducted herself, I mean, extremely, extremely nice to me. Her medical profession, I guess she was the next thing of being a doctor.
She was a registered nurse.
And she's got a head full of knowledge.
There's 2 kinds of nurses. There's an LPN and a registered nurse.
Which is the highest rank?
RN.
The RN's the highest.
LPN, you just go to school for a year on that.
But the LPM, you got to go what, 3 years or 4 years?
RN,
Yeah.
you gotta have a college education. 4 years of it.
You do.
That's what she's got.
Yeah, she's smart. You know it.
And the 2 boys they adopted them.
I know Jeff and Gary.
Yeah.
I think Gary's still living in Weakley County. I think he's still living between Martin and Fulton, somewhere up in there. He's got a bad drinking problem. I think he had a stroke or something.
I didn't even know whatever happened to them 2 boys.
That one of them living in Weakley County, or it was.
I don't know. I never knew that.
Let me go holler at one of these nurses real quick, Maxie. And I'm gonna let you go. Did your favorite guy win the race?
Yeah.
Did he? Here's your paperback. I'm gonna put your ink pen back here.
Yeah.
I wrote down a lot of this stuff pertaining to names and
Yeah.
birthdays and different things.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie to you, Maxie. That upset me whenever I went by that hotel and I didn't see no type of marker or nothing out there.
I just leave it alone.
You would.
I don't bother with it. You know,
In other words, keep it on a private level.
and that was 40 years ago.
That was in 1983.
Yeah, it had been 40 years ago.
Been 40 years ago.
41 years
What
ago.
does it matter if it happened 40 years ago or 140 years ago? They still need to be remembered, I think, pertaining to the incident that happened.
Well, they all died at one time, had been different, but they died at different times. Like, Jimmy died, and maybe a week or two later, Chris died, and Jonathan.
Where did they have them at? What hospital did they was their final resting place?
Well, look at that. Galveston, Texas.
All of them was
Yeah, all of them.
at the burnt victim thing down there.
Yeah, there's two of them, two burned places down there.
It is.
One of them is Shriners, that's where they were at. And all you gotta do is walk by the Shriners, walk, not even from here, that door you come in at,
Yeah.
to the other hospital.
Really, they're both right there together.
You know, that was a 10-story hospital, that one.
What's the name of that hospital?
John Seeley.
What is it?
John Seeley.
John Seeley.
Seeley, yep, Seeley. They, tough tour feeds 7,000 people a day.
That's a big hospital.
Yeah,
That's a good sized hospital.
it's a medical center, University of Texas Medical Center.
Now, how long did Jeff stay down there? Do you remember? He's-
He was down there about 4 weeks.
I thought he was down there for longer than that. Didn't they have to do a lot of skin grafts and stuff on him?
Yeah, they know him down there, but after he come home, he never had no more though.
You know, some of them injuries still bother him to this day, don't you?
No, he never talks about it.
Well, they do.
I don't ask him about it.
They do. That's the reason why he wound up going to Colorado, so he could smoke weed, so he could dull the pain.
I don't know.
Did they ever come up with a reason why the hotel burnt to begin with?
No,
Was there ever an investigation?
yeah, but I never heard anything about it. I don't know why.
You don't know if it was a wiring problem?
No, I didn't. What I know is when I left there that morning, I left at 6 that morning, and they called me at about 15 after 7, and they called me.
Was it in the winter? You said it was in October, right?
October, yeah.
So it was already cold, wasn't it?
I wasn't told.
October's Halloween month.
That was the 1st of October though. But I remember that.
So it wasn't just cold. It may have been chilly, but it wasn't to the point that people had to have a lot of heaters going.
It wasn't in chilly, because I remember that morning, I always left 6 o'clock and get out there. Or where I parked at, there'd be about 4 or 5 of us waiting to go in. The gate didn't open at 6:30.
Yeah.
And we'd sort of stand around there and talk. And I was with my shirt sleeves in.
You
We'd
was.
all sit around there talking, yeah.
That was a bad deal, wasn't it, Max?
Yeah.
That was a bad deal. Well, you know, I almost lost my life that same year. Over there at Hop In, I had a freak accident. I think that was somewhere around April, is whenever that happened. And then Jimmy Jackson, that was the son to Alice and Cecil Jackson. Whenever, Cecil died way before then, but Alice, she wound up having to go to a nursing home, and I'll be darned if they didn't want. He wound up losing the farm over there, the same thing as we almost lost the complete farm. We lost 99% of the farm, pertaining to Miss Aldell's farm, because the old folks home got it. So, and if I'm not mistaken, all that happened within that same time period.
I don't remember.
Well, you probably went through you was probably in shock.
Yeah.
They probably had to have you on heavily medicated.
No,
I know your mother, Margaret, she was just devastated by all that. Devastated. I think by that time they was living up there in Sharon,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
I don't take no medicine unless I have to.
I hear you. Well, your color looks good.
They,
For a 79-year-old man, you look good.
but I went and got some medicine one time after that. I took it a while and I hell with it.
You still get your military stuff and your coins and all them all that stuff.
Yeah.
I knew you was into all that stuff. Let me go holler at one of these nurses real quick.